The Godfather might just be the greatest film trilogy in cinema history. A story that spans from 1,890 seconds Sicily to 1,980 seconds America, covering 3 generations of power, corruption, and family. But when did you stop watching? When Vito Corleone bought oranges before getting shot? When Michael killed Sollozzo and McCluskey in that restaurant? The horsehead in the bed? Sonny getting gunned down at the toll booth? When Michael became the Godfather during that baptism? Fredo's betrayal in Cuba? The "I know it was you" Fredo moment? Young Vito taking revenge on Don Cicci? The door closing on Kay? Michael's stroke? Mary getting shot on those opera house steps? Or have you watched all 3 films multiple times and still catch new details? Today, I am going to cover every inch of the story in all 3 Godfather films. I'm talking about deleted scenes, details from the book, even the video game lore. There is so much to this story, and I'm going in extremely comprehensive detail. So grab some cannoli, pour some wine, take about 30 minutes of your time, and let's begin at the beginning. It all begins in Sicily in the year 1890. Long before the Corleone family became a powerful crime organization in America, they were just poor villagers trying to survive in a town called Corleone in Sicily. Back in those days, Sicily wasn't like it is now. The island was controlled by local mafia dons who had all the power. These men decided who lived and who died. They took money from everyone. If you didn't pay, you and your whole family could be killed. The Andolini family lived in this world of fear. Antonio Andolini was just a regular man trying to feed his family. He had a wife, 2 sons named Paolo and Vito. They had nothing. They were farmers with barely any land. One day, Antonio either refused to pay tribute to the local don named Don Cicci, or he insulted him. The stories aren't clear, but the result was the same. Don Cicci had Antonio murdered, just killed him, left his body in the street like garbage. Paolo, the older son, couldn't accept this. He was probably a teenager, maybe early 20s. He went after Don Cicci to get revenge for his father. But Paolo was just one young man with a knife. Don Cicci's men caught him. They dragged Paolo into the town square and shot him dead in front of everyone. This was the message Don Cicci sent. Nobody defies him. Nobody gets revenge. The Andolini family was being erased. But there was still young Vito. He was only 9 years old. His mother knew Don Cicci wouldn't stop until every Andolini was dead. So, she did what any mother would do. She took Vito to Don Cicci and begged for his life. She got down on her knees and pleaded. She said Vito was just a boy. He couldn't hurt anyone. Please spare him. Don Cicci refused. While she was begging, she pulled out a knife and held it to Don Cicci's throat. She told Vito to run. Run and never come back. Vito ran. Behind him, he heard the gunshot that killed his mother. At 9 years old, Vito Andolini had watched his entire family get murdered. He escaped Sicily with help from some friends of his father. They smuggled him onto a ship heading to America. The boy traveled alone across the ocean, with nothing but the clothes on his back and rage in his heart. When the ship arrived at Ellis Island in New York, the immigration officers asked the boy his name. He was sick with smallpox and couldn't speak English. The officers looked at the tag on his jacket that said Corleone because that's where he came from. They wrote down Vito Corleone on his paper. The boy who was born Vito Andolini now had a new name. He also got quarantined for his sickness. He spent weeks alone in a room at Ellis Island. Through the window, he could see the Statue of Liberty and this new country that would become his home. And that's how the Corleone name was born. Not by choice, but by accident. Though maybe it was fate. Let's move forward to 1917. Vito is now a young man in his 20s. He lives in Little Italy in New York City. He married a woman named Carmela, and they have a baby son named Santino, though everyone calls him Sonny. Vito works an honest job at a grocery store owned by a man named Abbandondo. Vito is a good worker. He's quiet and respectful. He doesn't cause trouble. He just wants to provide for his wife and son. But then things change. A local crime boss named Don Fanucci controls the neighborhood. He's called the Black Hand because he threatens people and extorts money from businesses. One day, Don Fanucci's nephew needs a job. Don Fanucci tells Abbandondo to fire someone and hire his nephew. Abbandondo has no choice. He fires Vito. Just like that, Vito loses his honest income. Around this time, Vito meets 2 men who will change his life. Peter Clemenza and Salvatore Tessio. Clemenza is this big guy who's always looking for an angle. Tessio is quieter and smarter. They're not major criminals yet, just guys doing small jobs here and there. Clemenza asks Vito to help him hold on to a package for a few days. It's a box of guns. Vito agrees because Clemenza is his friend. This is Vito's first step into crime. He doesn't realize it yet, but he's building a reputation. People start to see him as reliable, as trustworthy. Clemenza brings Vito into a job. They steal an expensive rug from a rich person's house. It's easy money. But then Don Fanucci finds out. He comes to Clemenza Tessio, and Vito. He demands $700 as his cut. That's a huge amount of money back then. Clemenza and Tessio are terrified. They tell Vito they'll have to pay. But Vito studies Don Fanucci. He watches. He realizes something important. Don Fanucci is all talk. He's not backed by a powerful family. He's just one man who uses fear. Vito tells Clemenza and Tessio that he'll reason with Don Fanucci. He'll negotiate a lower payment. Clemenza and Tessio are skeptical, but they agree. Vito meets Don Fanucci during a street festival. They walk and talk. Vito offers him $200 instead of $700. Don Fanucci is impressed by Vito's courage, but refuses. He wants his full cut. That night, during the festival, Vito follows Don Fanucci to his apartment building. The street is loud with music and celebration. Vito wraps a towel around a gun to muffle the sound. He enters the building. Don Fanucci is walking up the stairs. Vito shoots him in the chest. Don Fanucci stumbles into his apartment. Vito follows. He shoots him again and again. Don Fanucci dies on his own floor. Vito walks out of the building, unwraps the gun, drops the towel in a trash can. He goes home to his wife and plays with his baby son like nothing happened. The next morning, the neighborhood is different. Don Fanucci is dead. People are relieved, but also nervous. Who killed him? Slowly, people figure out it was Vito Corleone. But instead of being afraid of Vito, they respect him. He freed them from a tyrant. People start coming to Vito for help. A woman's landlord is kicking her out. Can Vito speak to him? A man can't find work. Can Vito help? Vito always helps. He asks for nothing in return. But people remember, they owe him favors. This is how Vito Corleone becomes a man of power. Not through fear like Don Fanucci. Through respect. Through friendship. Through building a network of people who owe him. Vito starts an olive oil importing business as his legitimate front. The Genco Pura Olive Oil Company, named after his friend Genco Abondando, who gave him his first job. Behind this business, Vito is building something else, an organization. Clemenza and Tessio become his captain. They each control different territories and different crews of men. The Corleone family is born. By now, Vito and Carmela have more children. Fredo was born in 1919. He's a sickly child and not too smart. Then Michael is born in 1920. He's sharp and intelligent. Later, they adopt a boy named Tom Hagen after finding him homeless on the street. Vito treats Tom like a son. He pays for Tom to go to law school. Tom becomes the family lawyer. Finally, Connie is born in 1925. She's the baby and the only daughter. But Vito never forgets Sicily. He never forgets Don Sicily. Sometime in the 1,920 seconds, Vito returns to Sicily. He brings his family and tells everyone it's a vacation. But Vito has other plans. He befriends Don Sicily, who is now an old man. Don Sicily doesn't recognize Vito. Why would he? Vito was just a child when they last saw each other. They go for a walk. Don Sicily talks about the old days. He mentions killing the Andolini family like it was nothing. Just another day. Vito walks behind him. He pulls out a knife. He grabs Don Sicily. Before he kills him, Vito says, "My name is Vito Andolini Corleone, and this is for my father, my brother Paolo, and my mother." He cuts Don Sicili's stomach open. The man who destroyed Vito's family dies on the same Sicilian soil where it all began. The circle is complete. The boy who ran away has returned as a powerful Don. The name Andolini is avenged. Vito returns to America. Over the next 20 years, from 1925 to 1945, Vito builds the Corleone family into one of the most powerful crime organizations in New York. There are 5 major mafia families in the city: the Corleones, the Tattaglias, the Barzinis, the Cuneos, the Straxis. They form a commission to keep peace between them. They divide territories. They settle disputes. Vito is respected by all of them. The Corleone family makes money from gambling, protection, union control, and various other illegal businesses. But Vito has rules. No drugs, no prostitution. These businesses are too dirty, and they attract too much police attention. Vito also builds political connections. He pays off judges. He has police officers on his payroll. He controls union leaders. He makes campaign contributions to politicians. This protection is what keeps the family safe. But Vito's real power comes from his philosophy. He believes in friendship. He believes in doing favors for people. At the beginning of The Godfather, we see Vito at his daughter Connie's wedding. It's tradition that a Sicilian cannot refuse a request on his daughter's wedding day, so people come to ask favors. A man named Bonacera comes. His daughter was beaten badly by some boys who got off with a suspended sentence. Bonacera wants justice. He wants the boys killed. Vito is offended. Bonacera went to the police first instead of coming to him. Why? Because Bonacera wanted to be a good American. He wanted to follow the law, but the law failed him. Vito explains that if Bonacera had come to him first as a friend, the boys who hurt his daughter would be suffering, not dead, but suffering and afraid. Vito asks why Bonacera is afraid to be in his debt. Bonacera says he didn't want to get involved. Vito tells him, someday, and that day may never come, I will call upon you to do a service for me. But until that day, accept this justice as a gift. This is how Vito operates. He does favors. People owe him. When he calls in those favors, they must repay. This network of obligation is stronger than fear. At the same wedding, Johnny Fontane arrives. He's a famous singer and movie star. He's also Vito's godson. Johnny is crying. He wants a movie role that will revive his career. The studio head, a man named Jack Woltz, won't give it to him. Johnny asks Vito for help. Vito is disappointed that Johnny is acting weak and crying, but he tells him to go enjoy the party. Tom Hagen will handle it. Tom flies to Hollywood and meets with Woltz. Woltz is arrogant. He refuses to cast Johnny. He insults Johnny. He insults Tom. He insults the entire Italian people. That night, Woltz goes to sleep in his mansion. When he wakes up the next morning, his sheets are wet and warm. He pulls back the covers. At the foot of his bed is the severed head of his prized $600,000 racehorse. The blood has soaked everything. Woltz screams. The message is clear. Johnny Fontane will get the role. And he does. This story becomes legend. Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes, and going to the mattresses becomes sayings. But the horse head is the most famous Corleone message. Now let's talk about Vito's sons. Sonny is the oldest. He's in his late 20s. He's the underboss, next in line to be Don. But Sonny has a problem. He's too emotional, too violent, too quick to anger. When someone insults the family, Sonny wants blood immediately. Vito tries to teach him patience. He tries to teach him that anger clouds judgment. But Sonny doesn't learn. Fredo is the middle son. He's weak. Not physically weak, though he's not as strong as Sonny. Mentally weak. He wants respect, but he doesn't earn it. Vito eventually sends Fredo to Las Vegas to work with their casino partner, Mo Green. It's a way to give Fredo something to do where he can't cause too much damage. Then there's Michael. He's the youngest son. He's a war hero. He fought in World War II in the Marines. He has medals. He's dating a girl named Kay Adams, who isn't Italian. She's a nice American girl. At Connie's wedding, Michael tells Kay about his family business. He tells her about the things his father does. But then he says, "That's my family, Kay. That's not me." Michael wants nothing to do with the family business. He's going to be legitimate. Go to college. Maybe be a politician. This makes Vito proud and sad at the same time. Proud because Michael could be better than all of them. Sad because Michael won't be there to take over. Everything changes in December 1945. A man named Virgil Sollozzo comes to meet with Vito. Sollozzo is called the Turk. He wants to start selling drugs, specifically heroin. He has connections with the Tattaglia family. He needs Vito's political protection and investment. He offers a huge profit. Vito refuses. He explains that his political contacts won't protect the drug trade. Drugs bring too much attention, too much police pressure. Judges and senators don't want to be connected to drugs. If the Corleones get involved in drugs, they'll lose their political protection. And without that protection, the whole organization is vulnerable. Vito says no. Sollozzo is backed by another family, the Barzini family. Barzini is Vito's real rival, the smartest and most ruthless of the five Dons. Barzini convinced Sollozzo that with Vito out of the way, Sonny would take over and approve the drug business, so Sollozzo has Vito killed. One day, Vito is out shopping. He's buying oranges from a fruit stand. His bodyguard Fredo is with him, but Fredo is distracted. Suddenly, gunmen appear. They shoot Vito 5 times. Fredo fumbles for his gun and can't even pull it out. The gunmen escape. Vito collapses in the street. Fredo sits on the curb, crying like a baby. Vito Corleone, the Godfather, is shot and dying. He's rushed to the hospital. Sonny takes over. He's furious. He wants revenge immediately. But Tom Hagen advises caution. They don't know who ordered the hit. They need information. Sollozzo reaches out for a meeting. Tom goes. Sollozzo admits he shot Vito, but says it's just business. He still wants the drug deal. Tom says he'll talk to Sonny. Meanwhile, Michael goes to visit his father in the hospital. When he arrives, something is wrong. There are no guards, no police. The hospital is almost empty. Michael realizes someone is coming to finish the job. He quickly moves his father to another room. He stands outside the hospital entrance with Enzo, the baker, who came to visit Vito. They pretend to be guards. They put their hands in their pockets like they have guns. A car with gunmen drives by slowly, sees them, and drives away. Then corrupt police Captain McCluskey arrives. He's working for Sollozzo. He punches Michael in the face and breaks his jaw, but the hit is stopped. Vito survives. Now Michael has been attacked. He's no longer outside the family business. He tells Sonny, "I'm with you now, Pop." Michael proposes a plan. Set up a meeting with Sollozzo and McCluskey. He'll go meet them. He'll be searched, so they'll think he's unarmed. But the family will plant a gun in the bathroom beforehand. Michael will excuse himself, get the gun, come back, and shoot them both. Everyone thinks this is crazy. Sollozzo is a powerful criminal. McCluskey is a police captain. You can't just kill a cop. Michael explains that McCluskey is a corrupt cop on Sollozzo's payroll. He's not a real cop anymore. He's a criminal. It's not personal, Sonny. It's strictly business. The meeting is set at Louis Italian restaurant. Michael sits down with Sollozzo and McCluskey. They talk. Sollozzo speaks in Sicilian. He tells Michael that his father is doing well and will recover. He wants peace. He wants the drug deal. Michael nods along. He excuses himself to use the bathroom. He finds the gun taped behind the toilet. He comes back to the table. Sollozzo and McCluskey are relaxed now. They think the danger has passed. Michael sits down. Sollozzo continues talking. Michael pulls out the gun. He shoots Sollozzo in the forehead. Then he turns and shoots McCluskey in the throat and then in the forehead. Both men collapse. The restaurant goes silent. Michael drops the gun and walks out. A car is waiting. He gets in and disappears into the night. Michael has killed for the family. There's no going back now. The heat is too intense. Michael has to leave the country. The family sends him to Sicily to hide. He'll stay there until things cool down. Michael arrives in the Sicilian countryside. It's peaceful and beautiful, nothing like New York. He stays with a friend and walks through villages. He has 2 bodyguards with him at all times. One day, Michael is walking through a village, and he sees a young woman. Her name is Apollonia. Michael is struck by what Italians call the thunderbolt. Instant love. He arranges to meet her family. He courts her properly with chaperones. They marry. For a brief time, Michael is happy. He's away from the violence. He's with a beautiful wife. He teaches her English. He teaches her to drive. They laugh together, but the past finds him. One of his bodyguards, a man named Fabrizio, has betrayed him. Someone paid Fabrizio to kill Michael. One morning, Michael is about to get in his car with Apollonia. She wants to surprise him by driving. Michael is tying his shoe. Apollonia gets in the car and starts it. The car explodes. Michael is thrown back by the blast. Apollonia is killed instantly. Just like that, Michael's happiness is destroyed. His wife is dead. His face is burned. His heart is turned to stone. The man who wanted nothing to do with violence has lost everything to violence. Back in America, things are getting worse. Sonny's rage is out of control. Carlo Rizzi, who married Connie, is abusing her. He beats her up. Connie calls Sonny crying. Sonny loses his mind. He drives alone to beat up Carlo. It's a trap. Carlo was told to beat Connie so she would call Sonny. They knew Sonny would come alone in his anger. At a toll booth on the causeway, gunmen are waiting. They block Sonny's car. They shoot him over and over. Dozens of bullets. Sonny's body is destroyed. The hot-headed heir is dead. Vito is devastated. He's lost his firstborn son, but he can't show weakness. He calls a meeting of the 5 families. He makes peace. He says he won't seek revenge for Sonny's death. He implies it was Tartaglia who ordered it. But Vito knows the truth. It was Barzini all along. Barzini has been the puppet master from the start. Vito agrees to allow some limited drug dealing. He'll provide some political protection. In exchange, Michael can come home safely. Michael returns in 1950. He's different now. Harder. Colder. He reunites with Kay, and eventually they marry. Tom tells Michael that Vito is getting old and weak. The family needs new leadership. Michael begins to take over. Vito teaches him what he can. They have a scene in the garden where Vito tells Michael he never wanted this life for him. He wanted Michael to be Senator Corleone, Governor Corleone, but that's not how things worked out. One day, Vito was playing in the garden with his grandson Anthony, Michael's young son. Vito is cutting up an orange. He makes fangs out of the orange peel and puts them in his mouth to make the boy laugh. Then Vito has a heart attack. He collapses among his tomato plants. The great Don Vito Corleone dies not in violence but in peace, playing with his grandchild. The oranges, once again, signal death. Michael is now Don Corleone. He's not like his father. He's colder, more calculating, less warm. He demotes Tom Hagen temporarily because he needs a Sicilian consigliere for the plans he has. Michael knows all his enemies. Barzini, Tartaglia, Mo Green in Vegas, who disrespected the family, Carlo, who set up Sonny's death, and the traitors within. He's gonna settle all accounts. Michael's plan happens during the baptism of Connie's baby. Michael is the godfather. While he stands in the church renouncing Satan and promising to protect the child, his men are executing his enemies across the city. It's the most famous sequence in cinema. At the courthouse steps, Barzini is shot dead along with his bodyguard. In a bed with a woman, Tartaglia is killed. Mo Green is getting a massage when a bullet goes through his eyeglasses into his eye. Cuneo is trapped in a revolving door and shot. Strachey is killed in an elevator. All 5 families are decapitated in one coordinated strike. While Michael is in church saying holy words, his men are committing murder. The symbolism is clear. Michael is both sacred and profane. He's blessing a child while damning himself. After the baptism, Michael confronts Carlo. He tells Connie to take the baby and go. He tells Carlo to confess. Carlo breaks down. He admits he set up Sonny, but says he didn't know they were going to kill him. He says he was just trying to help out. Michael says he's being sent away. Carlo gets in a car with Clemenza. While they're driving, Clemenza garrots Carlo from behind. Carlo is strangled to death. Michael has avenged Sonny. Connie comes to Michael screaming. She knows he killed Carlo. She calls him a monster. She attacks him. Michael has her taken away. Kay asks Michael if it's true. Did he kill Carlo? Michael looks at her. He says no. Kay wants to believe him. She smiles. Michael's men come in to talk to him. The door closes. Kay is left outside. She's shut out from the truth. The final shot is Kay watching as men kiss Michael's hand and call him Don Corleone. Michael has become exactly what he said he would never be. He's become his father, except colder, darker, more ruthless. Now we move to The Godfather Part II. This movie tells two stories at the same time. One story is young Vito's rise to power in 1917 to 1925. The other story is Michael's reign as Don in 1958 to 1959. We already covered young Vito's story. Now let's focus on Michael. It's 1958. Michael has moved the family to Nevada. He has a compound at Lake Tahoe. It's fortified like a military base. Michael is trying to go legitimate. He's making deals with senators and businessmen. At a party for his son Anthony's first communion, Michael meets with Senator Geary. Geary is corrupt but pretends to be respectable. He insults Michael and the Italian people. He demands a huge payoff for his help. Michael refuses. He calmly says they'll negotiate, but you can see Michael is tired. Tired of people like Geary. Tired of the constant fighting. That same night, someone tries to kill Michael. Gunmen shoot up the bedroom. Michael and Kay barely escape. Who ordered it? Michael doesn't know. His trust in everyone is shattered. The only people he's sure of are Tom Hagen and his personal bodyguard Al Neri. Frank Pentangeli, one of Michael's capos in New York, is having problems. The Rosato brothers are trying to take his territory. Frank comes to Michael for help. Michael tells him to negotiate. Frank is angry. In the old days, Vito would have backed him up with muscle. Michael is different, colder, less loyal to his own men. Frank meets with the Rosato brothers. It's a trap. They try to garrote him just like Clemenza killed Carlo. But a police officer walks by and the Rosatos run. Frank survives. He thinks Michael set him up. Now Michael has enemies within his own organization. Michael meets with Hyman Roth, an old Jewish gangster who was Vito's partner years ago. Roth is planning a huge deal in Cuba. He wants to own casinos when Batista is in charge. Michael doesn't trust Roth, but he plays along. Michael, Tom, and others fly to Cuba. It's New Year's Eve, 1958. They're meeting with Batista and other criminals. They're dividing up Cuba like a cake. But Michael notices something. He sees rebels willing to blow themselves up to kill soldiers. He tells Tom that rebels who are willing to die will win. The army will lose because soldiers want to live. Michael is right. Within days, Castro's revolution succeeds. Batista flees. All the gangsters lose everything. Michael barely escapes Cuba. But while in Cuba, something important happened. Fredo slips up. He mentions knowing something about a deal that Michael never told him about. Michael realizes Fredo has been talking to someone. To Hyman Roth. Fredo betrayed the family. Michael's own brother. Michael doesn't react. He just notes it. At a party that night, Michael sees Fredo. He grabs his brother. He kisses him. He says, "I know it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart." Then he walks away. Michael orders his men to protect Fredo, but to never let him be alone with Michael. As long as their mother is alive, Fredo will live. But after she dies, Fredo is dead. Back in America, the FBI is investigating the Corleone family. They want Michael to testify at Senate hearings. They want Frank Pentangeli to testify against Michael. Frank has been arrested. He blames Michael for the attempt on his life. He's ready to talk. The Senate hearings happen. It's all over the news. Michael sits there calm while senators accuse him of being a criminal. But Tom Hagen has a plan. He brings Frank Pentangeli's older brother from Sicily. The brother sits in the hearing room. Frank sees him. In Sicilian culture, this is a message. Betray the family and your whole bloodline is dishonored. Frank understands. When he's asked to testify, he suddenly says he doesn't know anything. He says he was confused. The case falls apart. Michael walks free. But the victory is hollow. Kay has had enough. She tries to leave with the children. Michael stops her. She tells him she's leaving. Michael says no. Kay then tells him the truth. She had a miscarriage a while back. That's what Michael thinks. But it wasn't a miscarriage. It was an abortion. She killed their son because she didn't want to bring another child into Michael's world of death. Michael loses control. He hits her. He throws her out. He takes the children. Kay has left him. His marriage is destroyed. Michael's mother dies. At the funeral, Fredo approaches Michael. He hasn't spoken to him in over a year. Fredo confesses everything. He says, Hyman Roth promised him things. He says he didn't know they were going to try to kill Michael. He was just trying to be important, to be respected. He's crying. He says, "I'm smart too. I'm not dumb like everybody says." Michael just stares at him. After the funeral, Michael gives the order. Fredo is taken out on a fishing trip at the lake. Al Neri shoots him in the back of the head. Michael's own brother, the brother he used to defend his kids, dead. Michael watches from the compound. He's sitting alone in the dark. He's gotten his revenge on everyone, but he's lost everything. The movie ends with a flashback to 1941. It's Vito's birthday. All the family is together at the dinner table. Sonny is there. Fredo is there. Tom is there. Connie is there. They're all happy. Michael announces he joined the Marines. Everyone is shocked. Sonny is angry because America is at war. Michael is choosing the country over the family. Tom tries to defend him. Fredo doesn't care. Connie is worried. Then Vito arrives and everyone goes to greet him. Everyone except Michael. Michael sits alone at the table. The flashback ends. We return to the present. Michael is still sitting alone, but now he's truly alone. Sonny is dead. Fredo is dead. Vito is dead. His mother is dead. Kay is gone. Tom is just an employee now. Michael has won all his battles but lost the war. He's destroyed his family while protecting the family. Finally, we have The Godfather Part III. It takes place in 1979, almost 20 years later. Michael is 60 years old. He has diabetes. He's suffering from guilt. He's trying to make the family completely legitimate. He's created the Vito Corleone Foundation for charity. He's making a huge deal with the Vatican to buy their shares in a company called Immobiliare. If the deal goes through, the Corleone family will be legitimate billionaires. Michael is also trying to reconcile with his family. Kay comes to visit. They're civil to each other but distant. His son Anthony is grown up now. He doesn't want to be in the family business. He wants to be an opera singer. Michael is disappointed but accepts it. His daughter Mary works for the family foundation. She's sweet and innocent. Everything Michael wishes he could be. A new character enters, Vincent Mancini. He's Sonny's illegitimate son. He's in his late 20s. He's violent and hot-headed just like Sonny was. But he's also smart. Michael sees potential in him. Vincent starts working for the family. He also falls in love with Mary. Michael doesn't approve. First cousins shouldn't be together, but they love each other. The old enemies return. Joey Zasa is a young gangster who took over the old territory. Don Altobello is an old friend of Vito's who's been with the family for decades. But both of them are secretly working against Michael. At a meeting, Joey Zasa tries to have Michael killed with a helicopter attack. Michael survives. Vincent hunts down and kills Joey Zasa brutally. The Vatican deal is falling apart. The Pope dies suddenly under suspicious circumstances. This is based on real history. Pope John Paul I died after only 33 days. Many people suspected murder. The movie uses this real event. Archbishop Gilday and a banker named Frederick Keinzig are corrupt. They're stealing from the Vatican Bank. They don't want Michael's deal because it will expose them. Michael has a diabetic stroke. He's getting older and weaker. Vincent takes control and starts a war. Michael tells Vincent he can be the new Don under one condition. He has to give up Mary. Love has no place in this life. Vincent agrees. He becomes Vincent Corleone. The final sequence takes place in Sicily. Anthony is performing in an opera. Michael, Kay, and Mary are all there watching. It's a beautiful moment. The family is together. Michael is at peace. But outside, assassins are waiting. They were hired by Don Altobello and the corrupt Vatican officials. After the opera, on the steps, chaos erupts. Altobello eats poison cannoli and dies. Gilday is killed. Keinzig is killed. Vincent's men eliminate all the enemies. But one assassin is aiming for Michael. He shoots. Mary steps in front of her father. The bullet hits her in the chest. She collapses. Michael holds his daughter. She dies in his arms. Michael opens his mouth to scream, but no sound comes out. It's the silent scream, the most painful moment in the entire trilogy. Michael's punishment is complete. He tried to protect his family by being ruthless. Instead, he destroyed them. His daughter, the innocent one, pays for his sins. The movie ends years later. Michael is an old man alone in Sicily. He's sitting outside. He's holding an orange. The orange falls from his hand. He slumps over. Don Michael Corleone is dead. He died alone, haunted by all the people he lost. Vito died playing with his grandson in a garden. Michael dies with no one. The tragedy is complete. A man who gained the whole world, but lost his soul. Now let's talk about the extended universe. The original Godfather novel by Mario Puzo had a lot more details. Luca Brasi, Vito's enforcer, has a whole backstory. He was a monster. He killed his own baby by throwing it into a furnace. Vito tamed him and earned his loyalty. That's why Luca is so devoted. In the movie, we only see him briefly before he's killed. There are deleted scenes that add more context. There's a longer scene with Sonny's mistress, Lucy Mancini. She moves to Vegas and has a relationship with a doctor. There's more of Clemenza teaching Michael how to shoot a gun. There are extended scenes in Sicily. Some of these scenes were added back in the TV version called The Godfather Saga, which puts the movies in chronological order. The video game from 2006 is interesting. You play as Aldo Trapani, a new character. His father was killed at Connie's wedding. Luca Brasi recruits him into the family. You participate in events from the movie, but from a different angle. You help with the horse head. You back up Michael at the restaurant. You carry out the hits during the baptism. Eventually, you become Don of New York. The game is considered semi-canon. It doesn't contradict the movies, but adds to them. There are also books that continue the story. The Godfather Returns takes place between parts 1 and 2. It covers 1955 to 1962. It has more about Fredo's time in Vegas and introduces new characters. These books aren't movie canon, but they're interesting for fans who want more. The symbolism in the movies is incredible. Oranges always mean death is coming. Vito buys oranges before getting shot. He's playing with an orange when he dies. Michael holds an orange when he dies. It's not a coincidence. The filmmakers did this on purpose. Doors represent separation. When the door closes on Kay at the end of part 1, she's being shut out of Michael's world. When windows break in Sicily, it represents freedom being destroyed. The movies are full of these visual metaphors. The Puppet Master theme repeats. In part 1, everyone thinks Tattaglia is the enemy, but it's Barzini pulling the strings. In part 2, everyone thinks it's the Rosatos or Frank, but it's Hyman Roth. In part 3, it's Don Altobello and the Vatican official. The real enemy is always hidden. Religion and violence are always mixed. The baptism happens during murders. Anthony's communion party has assassination attempts. The opera performance ends with killing. The movies show that these men use religion to justify themselves while committing evil. Michael's transformation is the heart of the story. He says, "That's not me," in part 1, but by the end of part 2, he's worse than anyone. He's killed his own brother. The tragedy is that Michael thinks he's protecting the family, but he's actually destroying it. Vito built a family through love and respect. Michael rules through fear and death. Vito died surrounded by love. Michael dies alone. That's the difference. Well, I'm done. I hope I mentioned everything important. I hope this is the most comprehensive Godfather analysis on YouTube.